Yes, certainly, because the AI summit was not an event which was belonging only to the BJP. It was something about the country, and that's the argument which is being given by the BJP, and exactly what the PM spoke about in Meerut. That these are international events. There were international media, international leaders who were present there, dignitaries who were present there, and in front of them, you have taken off your shirts and you are protesting and chanting slogans. Even within the Congress party and among the allies, him. While many say that there's nothing wrong with these kind of protests because you are supposed to stand up to the government, and as an opposition party, you question the government or the party in power. But the place it was done was chosen was wrong. It could have been outside the Bharat Mandapam. It could have been, say, for example, in Jantar Mantar. But you're doing it inside, which is also a security issue because that is exact. And adding on to what Anvit is saying, essentially what is now also being investigated is that how much of an orchestrated strategy was it. I think by now it's very, very clear him that there was a plan in place, and this was something which the top leaders of the youth congress and possibly even the president was aware of. From scanning the QR code to having those customized t-shirts, all of this could not have been spontaneous, and this is what could put many of the youth congress leaders into a bit of a spot.
Absolutely, Pallavi, and there appears to be a pattern here as well. As you mentioned earlier, of course, they have the right to protest and also raising questions when it comes to Pulwama, the Red Fort blast. Of course, everyone has the right to ask questions with regards to those as well. But the real issue is that this was not the platform. And as you mentioned earlier, Pallavi, as well, that this was not a BJP event. It is, of course, an international event. It stood as a monolithic event for India, where we really were trying to push the India AI story. And it really takes away from that.
Oh yes, absolutely, and but you look at the kind of the support which is coming in from all the top Congress leaders. They've of course decided to completely back the youth Congress leaders because the word has come in from above, and the word from above essentially means, of course, Rahul Gandhi himself. It's now become a BJP versus Congress battle clearly, where the BJP is accusing the Congress party of consistently maligning the image of the government of the country, like when Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, using some harsh words, questioning the armed forces, all of that. Where the Congress party is defending its action by saying that we have a right to protest. You cannot dictate to us what is the venue that we want to choose.
Right, and of course there is clearly an attempt here being made to portray as though they are being stifled in this scenario as well. Rahul Gandhi, of course, also saying, once again, Pallavi, alleging that Prime Minister Modi has sold our data to the United States. He's completely surrendered to the United States. We've got nothing out of this deal. He continues to push these baseless allegations.
Well, I mean, if one goes through the kind of a short video statement which was released by Rahul Gandhi, he begins by asking this question: is that I'm going to tell you what being ashamed is, what we should be ashamed of. Basically, he was pinning on the word of the Prime Minister at the Meerut event, where the PM said that you've shamed, aapne desh ko sharmshar kiya. What Rahul Gandhi is making the larger point is whether it's the Epstein files, whether it is the General Naravane's book. All of these throw up questions that whether we buckled under American pressure to sign the trade deal, are we being subservient to Donald Trump, from 10% to 15% and earlier 18%? What about the China policy and Galwan in the Arunachal Pradesh? All of these are stories of India having lost its self-respect. So how are you accusing the Congress party of that? Come 9th March, the second part of the budget session of Parliament will begin. This is going to be in the backdrop of what played out at the AI summit. And I'm sure the Congress will want to have a debate and discussion and corner the government on it. And the BJP equally will corner the Congress party for defending what they consider it to be indefensible.
Absolutely, Pallavi. And as you mentioned, these are important discussions and important questions to be raised as well. However, a shirtless protest at the AI Impact Summit does not a statement make. That being said, Anvit, let me just come back to you on that as well. If you could just, for the benefit of our viewers, take us through some of the provisions under the BNS as well. We saw the earlier 4 accused, they have been taken to 5-day police custody under sections 121, voluntarily causing hurt. If you could just take us through that, please.
See, police have gone on to slap a number of sections, and however, none of them are very serious in nature, but certainly a number of sections have been slapped. One is criminal conspiracy, certainly. Second is, voluntarily causing hurt or grievous hurt to deter public servant from its duty, because there were a lot of police personnel who were trying to detain them, and these people were fighting back. Same at the same time, assault or criminal force to deter public servant from discharging his duty, only for not adhering to the government rules and the orders that were put in place. Secondly, obstructing public servant discharge of public duty, that has also been. Now, disobedience of order duly promulgated by public servant has been put in, because it was a restricted area, it was a VVIP area, and movements were restricted in certain manner. So that is why the section of BNS 223A have also been put in. Thirdly, there is another section of promoting enmity between different groups, because they were raising slogans, and they were trying to, on polices, as police believes, they were trying to make grounds for religion, or based on certain things, they were trying to disrupt harmony. So that section of 196 BNS has also been put in. Also, 197 imputations of assertions of prejudicial to national integration has also been put in, which is one of the serious sections. But other than that, most of these sections are not very grievous in nature, but police certainly are currently investigating, and further any more sections can always be added as per depending upon how planned this event comes out to be. It is very early in the investigation. We spoke to some of the officers. They said that we are still interrogating those four who were arrested earlier, and now Bhanu Chib will be interrogated at length if the court sends him to the police custody. And based on that, if it turns out that it was an entirely and detailed planning that went before this entire act that unfolded in Bharat Mandapam, so based on that, certain more sections can be added. So it will be interesting to see if FIR is revised and more names are added. Uday Bhanu's name has also been added into the same FIR. More people can be arrested, and more people can be reached out, also not only for legal action, but also to join for investigation, so that they can be questioned and further facts can be brought out.
Right. Pallavi, let me come to you on the politics of this as well. That how do you see this panning out going forward? It doesn't appear that the Congress is going to back down.
Oh, no, not at all. You're absolutely right, Him. The Congress is definitely not going to back down. See, look at it this way. I remember when I had interviewed Uday Bhanu Chib on the day the event played out at the Bharat Mandapam, he seemed to be suggesting and indicating that he was aware of the sequence of events which are going to be played out at the Bharat Mandapam. Look at the sequence of events, Him. Who are the people who are supporting it? KC Venugopal, General Secretary in charge of the organization, virtually number two in the party after the Congress president, again very close to Rahul Gandhi. He wouldn't have come out with this support without consulting Rahul Gandhi. Second, almost every top-notch leader of the Congress, and especially close to Rahul Gandhi, whether it's Bhavan Jitendra Singh, whether it's Pawan Khera, all of them are absolutely backing the youth Congress protesters, saying that we disagree that the venue was wrong, that was the right platform. There's much more that the government should be ashamed of. We have nothing to be ashamed of. Now, this despite the fact that many of their own allies don't seem to be agreeing with the Congress's style. But what Congress sources then told me as a response is that it is a democracy. Every political party in the India bloc has their own right to have their own opinions. We are a national party. We have our own identity, and we will do what we want to. So, in the days to come, there will be no closure on it. The BJP will, of course, keep on questioning. There will be a lot of criticism of the Banyan Brigade, but the Congress party is going to stand by it. Rahul Gandhi is standing by it. I'm told that it's a possibility that Rahul Gandhi would want to lead the youth Congress protesters. And as I said earlier, when the parliament session reconvenes on 9th of March, Congress will make a big show of strength backing the youth Congress leaders.
Right, and of course we heard earlier as well in the reactions that we've been getting, Shehzad Poonawalla also one of the many who's saying that this was the great way to lose support and lose key allies as well. And as you mentioned, Pallavi, earlier, we're hearing many of the key allies saying that this was not the way to go about this. Akhilesh Yadav also saying they should have refrained from doing something that brings shame to our country. And that's really the issue, that they don't seem to be understanding here, that this really severely hurts India's diplomatic image.
Well, the Congress suffers this whole dilemma. On one side, they want to be a good coalition partner and take the India bloc along. But on the other hand, they're grappling with trying to assert their identity as a national party. What they say is that unlike the TMC or the Samajwadi Party, which are largely regional parties, so they can afford to distance themselves by asking these questions, we have to raise issues because alternative to the BJP will have to be the Congress party. So the Congress is not too perturbed. If they were, frankly speaking, him, you wouldn't have seen that video coming in from Rahul Gandhi yesterday. He is convinced that this is the time to stand up in defense of the youth Congress leaders. Absolutely.
Right, and especially when we are seeing such cracks emerge time and time again, that also appears to be a pattern. Do you think this is reflective of a certain sense of entitlement?
Uh, the Congress has often been accused of being a bad coalition partner. Look at the Trinamool Congress. The TMC has to contest its elections in Bengal. That is their priority. For the Samajwadi Party, the preparation for the Uttar Pradesh elections have already begun. They realize, and most of these parties realize, that if we're going to start doing things and supporting the Congress party on this, what happens is that you end up diverting attention. You also not only divert attention him, you also go in for a policy which could boomerang on you. And that is the reason why, unlike the Congress party, they really want to refrain from any diversionary tactic, what they see it as. They also feel that this is going to earn them the tag of being anti-national. That is something they don't want on themselves. They want to take on the BJP head-on local state issues. The Congress, of course, cannot afford to think like that. That's the Congress's argument. Because unlike the TMC and the SP, they say we're a national party and therefore we have to provide ourselves as an alternative to the BJP by raising national issues.
All right, we also have some more reactions for our viewers. Let's just take a look at these.
पवन खेड़ा है। पवन खेड़ा जी, उदय भानु चिब जो यूथ कांग्रेस के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, उनको जिस तरह से पूछताछ के बाद पहले डिटेन फिर अरेस्ट कर लिया गया, कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या उनके साथ 100% है? क्योंकि पार्टी के अंदर कई वॉइस थी, कई लोगों को लगता था कि
हमारी पार्टी में वॉइसेस जितनी भी हों, सीधी सीधी बात है, हम एक एक यूथ कांग्रेस के साथी के साथ खड़े हैं। हमारे अपने साथी हैं वो, हमारी आवाज, हमारे सवाल वो आगे तक ले गए। हमें गर्व है उन पर, और कितने ही लोगों को ये गिरफ्तार कर ले, इनकी जेलें छोटी पड़ जाएंगी। एक एक कांग्रेसी गिरफ्तार होने के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन सवाल पूछना हम बंद नहीं करेंगे, हमारी मुद्दे उठाना हम बंद नहीं करेंगे, हम ये कहना बंद नहीं करेंगे कि प्रधानमंत्री ब्लैकमेल हो रहे हैं।
जिस तरह से उन्होंने भाषण दिया मेरठ में, आपने देखा था कि ये तो पहले से ही नंगे थे, शर्ट उतारने की जरूरत क्या थी?
आपको लगा कि ये प्रधानमंत्री बोल रहा है? एक इतने पुरानी सभ्यता के प्रधानमंत्री की जुबान और मुंह से लार टपक रही, थूक निकल रही, आंखों से पानी निकल रहा, मुंह से अजीब अटपटे भद्दे से शब्द निकल रहे, ये प्रधानमंत्री है देश का? ये दबाव में है, ये कुंठा में है, इसके ऊपर दबाव भारी है, ब्लैकमेल हो रहे हैं ये प्रधानमंत्री हमारे, और ब्लैकमेल होने वाला प्रधानमंत्री देश को नुकसान ही दे सकता है, फायदा नहीं दे सकता।
एक और आपने खबर देखी होगी कि लुटियन की जो प्रतिमा थी, उसको राजगोपालाचारी जी से उसको,
अब आप बताइए, दो प्रतिमाएं साथ।
All right. We'll continue to track all the developments on this front closely and continue to bring you more reactions as and when they come in. But with that, we're going to call it a wrap on this edition of the News Bulletin. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.